Hello everyone and welcome to The Aisle Between, where wedding vendors and engaged couples meet in the middle. This is the podcast where real DFW wedding professionals come together to answer the questions brides are actually asking and help you plan your wedding day with confidence. My name is Mariah Andrews, a DFW wedding photographer, and I'll be your host. And today I'm here with
Nicole Jones with Jonesin for Cupcakes.
Yes, and man, those are some good cupcakes.
I try.
Listen, every show that we go to, if she is there, I'm grabbing some cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like everybody does.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you do, why you do it, things like that.
So we've been in business since 2014. Started as very small hobby home baker, just baking to take away stress. It was not a financial thing in the beginning, and then it's just grown and morphed and changed over the years. Turned it into a full-fledged bakery about 2.5, 3 years ago, and really amped up weddings and large events and things like that. So my slogan used to be, baking cupcakes for those who love cupcakes, but now it's like, that's like the least of what I do. So I just love, I'm an acts of service person, and I'm also, the words of affirmation. So when I get to bake something for someone and have them tell me, oh, I love it so much, I'm like, it fills my cup. So that's kind of why I do what I do. I'm all about flavor. Like if it doesn't taste good, or if it doesn't taste like what it should, like a lemon cupcake, for example. Yeah. When I very, very first started, the cupcake shops were like all the rage, sprinkles cupcakes and all those things. And I would go to these high-priced fancy cupcake shops and pay $5, $6 for a cupcake. Yeah. And it was yellow, and lemon might have been in the kitchen somewhere when it was made, but it was not
in that cupcake.
Exactly. I was like, I want to know that this is what I'm eating. So it's kind of where we started, and flavor is still the forefront of all the things, but looking good is great, but it's got to taste amazing, and that's what keeps people coming back. So
cool. Okay, so why did you choose to get into the wedding industry?
Honestly, I felt like there were a lot of bakers that kind of did your standard stuff, and there wasn't really anyone particularly out there doing what I was wanting to do. I wanted to give people a really good budget-friendly price point with beautifully executed baked goods that tasted amazing, as well as looked, like the brides were wanting them. So I looked around and I was like, there really is not many people doing that. And then from there, Cupcakes sort of turned into our cake bar experience. That was just, it actually stemmed from creating samples for vendor shows and open houses. And I was like, I don't want to bake 97 million tiny little cupcakes.
No.
So I tried sheet cake, and I ended up so much left over, and I was like, you know what? No, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do these custom samples, and then that turned into the cake bar experience. And so now that's like my favorite thing to do is the cake bar experience with, pair it with a fake cake, and I'm happy.
So for those who don't know what it is, what is the cake bar experience?
So I like to say it's an interactive dessert service. So the host customizes the menu, kind of like you would with a caterer. They choose 4 flavors of cake, 4 frostings, and 6 toppings. And then the guests come up during the event, and they get to choose what they want for their customized dessert. So they're served in cute little champagne glasses, with the fork and the napkin and all the things. And that way everybody gets exactly what they want. And you don't have to worry about picking one flavor of cake for 150 people and leaving a quarter of it left over because not everybody wanted Italian cream cake or or chocolate. So it's fun, it's interactive, people get exactly what they want. You don't have to worry about who's cutting the cake, you don't have to worry about leftovers.
Such a big thing, actually, cutting the cake.
Right? Yeah. So many couples don't think about that. No. That's actually on my question list.
It should be.
Who is cutting your cake?
Yes.
Because then they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And most caterers now, as they should, are charging $2 or $3 per guest for a cake cutting fee, or adding just a flat $100-$200 onto their service list. Yeah. Or they expect the poor day of coordinator because, they don't have enough things going on. Or God forbid, Aunt Bessie takes over the knife.
Or your photographer. I can't tell you how many cakes I've cut because
I can imagine.
Nobody doing it. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, I know they're going to go home with this giant thing
Yep.
because nobody's thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I've cut quite a few too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yes, find somebody to cut your cake.
Yeah. And it's not me. I don't cut cakes. I can cut cakes, but I'm not gonna.
I make it pretty, and then there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
You decimate it. I make it pretty.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What is something that couples tend to misunderstand when it comes to wedding cakes or cake bar or whatever, something cake related?
So I think there's a common misconception that you don't need cake for all your guests, and they don't understand when is the right time to serve the cake.
Yeah.
They're thinking, and this is usually generated by a day of coordinator or possibly a photographer, that they need to have the shot,
Yeah.
At a certain time. So it's like, oh, we have our dances, and then we have our toasts, and we have our dinner, and then, oh yeah, let's put cake in there at like 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, at that point, everybody's dancing, they're drinking, they're partying. They don't want to stop and eat cake.
No.
So more than half of it ends up uneaten because it was so late at night.
Yeah.
So to me, the best timing is 30 minutes after dinner starts.
Okay.
The couple is already done eating at that point. And the photographer probably, hopefully, had their meal, while the couple was eating. So do your cake cutting then. Your guests don't need to be a part of the actual act of cutting the cake. And then your caterers can have it sliced and ready to go by the time the guests are done going through the buffet line or being served or whatever. So I think common misconception is that they don't need as much cake because not everybody's going to eat it. And that is either you had bad cake or you served it at the wrong time. Because my cake should be every piece gone if it was, if the timing of it was right. And sometimes people don't even know there is cake because it's served so late at night and half of the guests are gone. So
I've had a couple like that like I'm like, okay, there's a cake over there. Are we doing anything? But I do try to encourage my couples to wait on the cake just because it's a signal to other people, because I've heard it from so many people. Second you cut the cake or you open the dance floor, they're done. So cut the cake, people will eat it, and then they're gonna leave. So I think that's why a lot of photographers, or at least I, try to incorporate it towards the end of whatever they want people involved in, but then don't open your dance floor until you eat your cake.
Yeah, have your bouquet toss or your garter toss or your dances or whatever you're doing that.
Things you want people
things you want people there for, and that. But I don't think that the cake has to coordinate with that timing wise.
Yeah.
It's also here in Texas very hot, even indoors. So the earlier you cut your cake, the less issues you're going to have with potential for cake disaster. Or the little kid running through the reception hall and knocking into it or running a finger.
I was about to say, my kid is definitely the one that I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But okay, that makes sense. I get where you're coming from with that.
I mean, I'm like, cut it during cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Serve it first.
It's fine. Hey, I'm in with that. I'll take
Eat dessert first. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. See, but I think that's where your thing is making it more popular, having it the cake bars.
Yeah.
It's an experience still that we're still keeping them coming, we're still keeping it moving instead of cake pieces just sitting on table.
I will say that, when I'm there with the cake bar, if I don't have a sign up that says the cake bar will open at this time, within 30 minutes of dinner starting, I have people coming up. Can we have dessert? Can we have dessert? So people are ready for it earlier than it's in the program.
Yeah. I think it's just when people are like, okay, cool, now I'm done. I had my food, I'm out.
Yeah.
So, you got to find the timing in there wherever it is.
Very true.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, I'm always down for dessert right away. So, I don't hate that. Okay, you make custom flavors.
Yes.
What flavors tend to surprise people the most? Like, what's a unique flavor you've had?
Well, cookies and cream is my signature flavor. I think that does surprise people because they're thinking like Oreo ice cream or something like that. And it's very different than that.
It's very good.
My white chocolate raspberry is another one that tends to surprise people that, it's got so much flavor. But that's hard. Like, I mean, I've had some weird requests that, the matcha green tea, lavender, honey, Earl Grey, like those type of cake flavors are a little more. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you don't see a flavor on my menu, just ask, because I probably can do it or am willing to try. That's why we do a tasting.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I listed every single flavor I've got in my menu book, it would be, well, it's already overloaded with 35 plus flavors. So, yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
That's like picking a favorite child. It really depends on the week. So I make one in cupcake form that I call chocolate covered strawberry. And that is probably my favorite combination, but that's because I'm a strawberry, cherry, fruity flavor kind of gal.
Next bridal show, I'm going to need you to bring that for me.
Got it.
Because that does sound delicious. My favorite you make is the red velvet, and then with the buttercream on top, and then putting M&Ms.
The red velvet is very, very popular. Did you know that most people don't realize that red velvet is just chocolate cake?
Really?
I mean, it's different than like the chocolate cake I serve for my chocolate lovers.
Yeah.
But red velvet is just a milk chocolate cake with red food coloring added.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I always love people like, can you do red velvet but not add any red food coloring? I'm like, so you want chocolate cake? Yeah. Got it.
Makes sense. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just there's less cocoa powder in it than, say, a devil's food cake.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. So, and I grew up with my mom as a baker. So
there you go. Learned something new.
You didn't tell me that. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. How much cake do couples realistically need?
Again, that's going to come down to the timing.
Yeah.
If you're doing it early, then you need to cover at least 85 to 90% of your guests.
Okay.
If you're not going to do it till later in the evening, or you're not doing the cake bar, then you could probably go with about 75% or even 70% of your guest count. You might even end up with some leftovers at that point, because I find that about, like you said, after the dinner is over, even if there are things to stick around for, there's going to be those people that are just like, we're done. So the later in the evening, the less you need, probably around that 70% range.
Okay.
Might even go with a little bit less, because you can always cut your slices smaller.
Yeah.
So if you have more people than you thought, you can go tinier on those pieces. But yeah, you definitely don't need over your guest count.
Yeah.
For sure. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, it's such a small slice. It's really not. Like, your standard wedding slice is 1 inch by 2 inches by 4 inches. That's a pretty large piece of cake.
And
so
if it's a good cake, it's flavor packed, it's good enough.
Exactly. So I would say if you're gonna stick to serving it later in the evening, you know, you can go with less people for sure.
Okay. So you do cake bar, like you said. What if people want like a cake?
Oh, I still do regular cakes with it.
Okay.
So with the cake bar, they can do like a small 6 inch or 8 inch cake for cake cutting photos and to take home, you know, that sort of thing. I have some couples that still order like a 2-tier cake because they want to save their anniversary tier and then still cut their cake for photos.
Yeah.
I always tell people, just order an anniversary cake. I'll make you a fresh one. Although cake does freeze really well. It does. It doesn't refrigerate well. That's another common cake misnomer. Freeze it, don't refrigerate it. But and then fake cakes. I do fake cakes with the cake bar quite frequently because they still want those photos of the cake cutting without needing the extra full-on cake. But we'll do whatever you want.
We'll make it happen.
I just scheduled a quinceañera. They're doing a fake cake plus a dessert table plus cake bar. So,
hey, you know, that sounds like a lot.
How much sweets do you want? I will bring them all.
Okay. Cake bar or dessert table?
You're going to spend more on a dessert table than you are on cake bar.
Okay.
Because, well, cost-wise maybe not, but the number of desserts, yes. So with a dessert table, you need to actually have 2 to 3 desserts per person, because when people have multiple options,
I'm gonna grab it all.
They will grab one of each.
Yeah.
Especially since they don't know when the cake is being cut or what flavor the cake is. We see something, it looks good, we grab it. Think of at a buffet. You're like, oh, I might not eat all 3 of these things, but I'm gonna grab 3 of them.
Just in case.
Just in case. They look good, or so-and-so will eat them, you know. And so if you're doing a dessert table, you need to have a minimum of 2 desserts per guest, especially because they're going to grab those before dinner or during. And so then the cake is kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
So you definitely need way less cake if you're doing a dessert table as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. As a guest, I definitely have snuck some things from the dessert table before it starts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I'm here. It looks good.
I'm helping a friend plan her wedding, and that was one of the questions I asked of the venue that they have in-house catering. I was like, can they have dessert during cocktail hour? You know, is that allowed to be brought in from the cake vendor? And they were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And so I told my friend that's the bride, I'm like, okay, so you can cut down your number of hors d'oeuvres you need because we're just going to increase the sweets.
Yeah.
And
Works
people will eat them.
Yeah. Yeah, they will.
They just need something in their stomach to go with the alcohol. It doesn't matter if it's a cupcake or
Give me something
or a canapé.
Yeah. Smart. Well, listen, and desserts might be a little cheaper than hors d'oeuvres.
Absolutely.
So.
At $8-9 a person, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. What is the? Well, we kind of did that one. Yeah, because you said the putting your cake till later at night because it was what do people make mistakes with? What should they prioritize if they're on a budget?
So prioritizing on a budget, not specific to cake, obviously. It needs to be your food. People will remember what you fed them and if they had a good time.
Yeah.
So if you're prioritizing, food needs to be important. It doesn't have to be $35, $55 per person, you know, over the top dinner, but just make sure the food tastes good.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going with a budget caterer, great, just make sure it tastes good. It's not, you know, ragu out of a jar for your pasta station. I mean, that could be good, but, you know, make sure that the food tastes good and that there's enough of it. You know, you don't want to run out. And then entertainment, you know, vet your DJ, actually meet them. Don't just talk over text message, you know, that sort of thing. So if they're on a tight budget, that's where I would say is start first, is that guest experience.
Yeah.
And then you can cut out favors. You can cut out printed things. You know, you can cut out all the signage.
Yeah.
People do not need to know ceremony this way. They're going to figure out how to get there. You can cut down your centerpieces, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But the things that you're going to remember and they're going to remember. So photography, obviously, that's for the couple to have their cherished memories. And then for your guests, it's what are you feeding them and how are you entertaining them?
Yep. Okay, what about when it comes to cake? How could I save on that? Or how could I, you know, blow my entire budget?
Honestly, the easiest way to save with cake is going with sheet cakes. So I can do a single cake for the bride and groom to cut, and then sheet cakes for the guests. That's going to be significantly cheaper than doing, say, a 3 or 4 tier multi-tier cake. Same cake, just different process and how it's put together and the number of hours spent, you know, decorating.
Yeah.
Or go with a fake cake. You know, a lot of people will try and say, oh, well, fake cake costs just as much as a real one. No, it doesn't. Not if you have someone who knows how to actually make them.
Yeah.
Usually the bakers that are charging as much for a fake cake as they do a real one, they're doing that because they don't like to make them because they haven't figured out.
Yeah.
It is a very different process, but a fake cake is something that you can either rent or, you know, turn around and, you know, sell to another bride, you know, that sort of thing. But sheet cakes, cupcakes, those kind of things are going to keep your cost per person down. And then that way you're not just focused on the big presentation cake.
Yeah. Which, for those who don't know, she's got really pretty fake cakes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're, like, unique, like the Sally one.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Wait till you see the one I'm making next week. It's going to look like stained glass. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Yep, I'm ready. I'm just going to be stalking you now. So it's fine. Okay. What are some trends that you're seeing right now that come when it comes to cake?
I'm seeing more of the like cascading florals. That is becoming very, very popular, especially in my fake cake orders, where just, you know, I do like a single or a double diagonal of florals from top to bottom in their wedding colors. That's kind of becoming more, it's taking place of the vintage cakes that have been like storming the scene. Those are still around, but I'm seeing more floral designs with the tiered cakes. Okay. And then wafer paper. I like working with it, and it's becoming trendy to see all the wafer paper designs on the cakes, because honestly, it's way easier to work with than fondant. Nobody likes fondant. Your baker doesn't like fondant. Your guest doesn't like fondant. It's just, no. So wafer paper, you can get some really, really cool techniques with it, and it's way easier to work with and much less expensive of an actual product to put onto a cake. So
is that how you're doing the stained glass wafer paper?
There will be some wafer paper florals on there, but
Okay.
that one's going to be, it is going to be a hand painted fondant cake, but it's going to have wafer paper florals on it. So
Interesting. Okay.
it's a combination of the different elements there.
Yeah, so be looking out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a trend that you're seeing that you love. What's a trend you hate that you would like to go away?
A trend that I hate that I'd like to go away. I would just hate for people, or I would love for people to stop thinking that plain cakes are simple.
Yeah.
Like the one that I have sitting across the room over there is just a simple 3-tier cake, but it's completely smooth. So
There's
it
nothing
takes
simple about
no.
three
There's nothing
anyway.
simple about that. So I do like the minimalist cakes, but honestly, the minimalist cakes are the hardest to do.
Yeah.
Because
Get one little divot, you see it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I would love the trend of the minimalist
Yeah.
cake to go away. Give me all the texture.
Yeah.
All the texture. Love that. Like, give me
Especially the ones
florals.
that it's already a little
Florals can
fluffy.
hide things, you know. But when it's so yeah, minimalist cakes can go away.
Yeah.
Also, semi-naked cakes. They're still around. They're
Yes, they
still
are.
processed, but they are just as hard as a fancy design because again, there's nothing to hide anything. So you see every little crumb. You see it has to still be perfectly smooth.
Yeah.
With just enough missing, you know.
That it
So-
looks like it. Yeah, makes
So
sense.
we can get rid of semi-naked and minimalist cakes, and I will be a happy baker.
See, I love minimalist cakes, but all right,
I mean,
I understand.
when
Yeah.
they're executed well, they look really good, but
Yeah.
they are definitely very, very hard to hide any
bet.
kind of flaw. They're also harder to structure because you sometimes need to use a little extra icing to structure some things, especially with super moist cake.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, so you know the trend where people smash faces into
Oh no,
cakes?
so dangerous.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you do dowels in yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do
So
you
if it's
alert your people you do dowels?
if they have a multi-tier cake, I always ask, you know, who's their coordinator, who's in charge, and they are told that there's dowels in there. I tell the you know, couple as well. But across the board, anyone who sees a cake that's more than 1 tier tall, it's
know.
going to have sticks in it.
Yes.
Don't shove it in your face. Plus, who wants to waste cake like that? Like,
Nobody.
You just spent a lot of money on something really pretty to just shove it in somebody's face.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
That's a trend I would like
That
to
is
see
not
go
cool.
away.
That needs to go away. Yeah, because it's dangerous
Yeah.
and stupid.
Oh, I've seen so many horror stories on TikTok. I'm like, please stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't typically dowel just a single tier cake unless it's like an extra tall one.
Yeah.
And then, yes, absolutely. If it's a single tier cake, they're going to be notified. Like, be careful. This has stuff in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Which,
don't be stupid.
yeah. Which, I mean, you shouldn't have to do that, but
You shouldn't. But you also shouldn't have to tell people not to ride with cakes on their lap or leave them in the car. You know, so
okay.
yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
I'm gonna leave that one there. Yep. You should not have to. Okay. In your opinion, when it comes to cakes and desserts too, because you do both, what's something that's worth spending the money on?
Worth spending the money on is going to be flavors that you love. You know, don't just get vanilla and chocolate because you think that's what everybody's going to like. You know, it's worth spending the money on. If you want creme brulee flavored cake, then that's what you have and that's what you do.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth spending the money on those, you know, flavors that are going to be a standout. Or if you want the tiramisu or, you know, whatever it is that is like your favorite dessert, spend the money on that. You know, it doesn't have to be, oh, we must have vanilla for 100 people because that's what people eat. No, if you want
Make it your
tiramisu
wedding.
and creme brulee, that's what we serve,
Yeah.
you know, so.
As it should be. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. What's something that's not worth spending the money on in your opinion? when it comes to cakes?
When it comes to cakes.
Or dessert, either one.
Honestly, all the extra decor and toppers and fondant figurines and all of those things. There's so many other areas where you can keep to theme in your party, and it doesn't have to be on the cake. Not everything has to be on the cake. The other area where honestly you can save your money is decorated sugar cookies. I know I'm gonna like piss off a bunch of people, but my decorated sugar cookies are awesome. I stopped doing them though because I don't make enough money doing them. They take hours and hours and hours. Like you've heard that reel, it costs so much because it takes me effing hours. That's why.
It's true.
So decorated sugar cookies, 9 times out of 10, they taste awful from a lot of places. Just leave them off, and especially if you're on a budget. Like that's find other ways to, voice that you're,
I tried to make
first birthday party.
Exactly. I tried to make some for my kid's first birthday party. Those are hard to make. I was like, I'm out. No thanks.
And it's funny because you definitely see those more as a first birthday party, baby shower. Though that's wedding. Where that's more of a trend. But again, your guests would rather you just, skip them.
I will take chocolate covered strawberries instead.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or cupcakes or,
anything. Honestly, I'm good with a good dessert party. Whatever you got. Chocolate fountain. Okay, sorry. Tell me about a wedding you'll never forget when it came to cake. Like, would you do something, or maybe a way you saved a day?
A wedding I'll never forget. In a good way or a bad way?
Whatever you got, it's fine.
Okay, well, let me start out with the worst one ever. So I had a beautiful fake cake that this bride wanted. It was a suspended 3-heart, like monstrosity of a fake cake. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, she wanted these 2, a his and hers heart cake to go with it. But when I say heart cake, I'm not meaning it's laying flat on the board.
She wanted it up.
She wanted it standing.
Okay.
And not on it. I mean, it was supposed to be standing like on its side. Well, I was having a nightmare of a day already. It looked beautiful. And I was like, boxing this is going to be a little difficult, but we're going to make it happen. Looking back, I should have done things way differently and just probably turned down the order to begin with. But I pulled out of my driveway, and I have railroad tracks right outside of my bakery. Now, mind you, I would have hit every pothole between here and Dallas. I had to drive. It was 103 miles from my bakery to the venue. So something was bound to happen. Luckily, it happened within that first quarter mile from the bakery. I crossed the railroad tracks and immediately heard one cake hit the side of the box. And now, mind you, I do everything I can to make sure that everything is well supported and doweled and all the things.
There's only so much
you can do. It was just not going to happen. And so my husband happened to pull up right behind me because I got out of the car and I walked around to the back because I was like, how bad is this? If it was a little like leaned, okay, I can fix that at the venue. I always bring backup. But no, it was like on its side, just decimated, and it was both cakes, like both cakes. So I got back to the bakery. I text the coordinator. I said, I'm going to be late. I will be there before everything starts, but it's not going to be when you wanted it. And luckily I was able to, lay them flat, fix them. The cakes were savable, but definitely not going to be inverted. The bride was happy that she had cake. She was not happy that they were not standing. And so I ended up having to do her a partial refund. So it was like an hour late delivering, just ball of stress, getting it there. But that was probably the worst just because, that was a nightmare. I've had a handful of nightmare deliveries, but that one to me was just like, the worst.
Okay, now flip it.
The best. I did have a wedding where luckily I showed up about 30 minutes earlier than I was supposed to. Normally I just show up, drop off the cake, and leave. But I was running ahead of time, and so I went in, figured out, where the cake needed to go. And the venue had double booked the room. And so I got there. And so rather than just leaving the cake anywhere, they were like, oh yeah, you can leave it in the kitchen. I was like, no, I can't. So I got it. My dad helped me deliver, and we put it inside this like one of those Coke cooler cases. I mean, like it was kind of sketchy getting it in there, but I had my cake safe with me. And so we put the whole thing in there. And I realized that because the ceremony was happening outside and they had like some graduation party that had not yet ended, and they were gonna have to room flip before, like during ceremony cocktail hour, they were gonna have to room flip from this graduation party into whatever was supposed to be the reception. So rather than just delivering and running away, I was like, what can I help with? So at the venue, the owner, coordinator, whoever she was running around like a chicken with her head cut off. So I'm bussing tables, I'm pulling stuff off, to get this graduation stuff out of the way, throwing tablecloths on and moving stuff around. And I don't think for the first probably 30 minutes that the venue coordinator knew that I didn't work there. Like she thought
you were one of them.
She just thought, because we wear all black, we're dressed like everybody else. She's just, oh, go grab this from. I'm like, sure. And so about 30 minutes into when I had a space that I could put the cake, I made my dad go get the cake safe because he's just chilling out in the waiting area. So he goes and brings the cake in. And I set the cake in, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm setting the cake up." And she goes, "You don't work here, do you?" And I said, "Nope." She's
I
like,
do not.
"Well, thank you." So it was, I don't know that the couple ever knew that anything happened, but I felt like I kind of helped the planner save the day, because I was like, I'm not leaving this cake just in the kitchen or in your office or, wherever. So
be part of the graduation party instead.
There's been many times that I'm confused for, one of the workers at the event, and I'm like, that's fine, just put me to work.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. I said it is delivery and setup, so.
Yep. I'll set it up when I need to.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
That sounds like a save the day to me, so good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, we're almost done. One more question, and then we're going to do some rapid fire questions at the end. Okay, last question. Your friend, what was the very first piece of advice you gave her, / what would you give to a newly engaged couple?
Figure out what you want, and don't worry about what everybody else wants. So if you want the big wedding and all the guests and the whole shebang, then that's what you do. Yeah. And you figure out what's important to you and your future spouse or whoever else is planning the party, and then you don't ask for opinions. If they're not paying for something, they don't get an opinion.
And even if they are paying,
if they are paying, your opinion outweighs theirs.
Yep.
But so that comes down the entire time is this is what we want and this is what we are doing.
Yeah.
And stay off social media as far as like cross comparing, comparisons, the thief of joy. Yeah, exactly. So if you didn't dream about having it in your wedding, then don't worry about what Susie on Instagram had.
Yeah. So. I like it. Good advice. Thanks. All right, ready? Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
We are going to do these. Don't think about it.
Okay.
I just want your answer.
Got it.
I have to preface this now. Here in Texas, okay? Okay. Indoor or outdoor wedding?
Oh, indoor. 1,000%.
Really?
Indoor. Everything melts. Butter, makeup.
That's true. It's because it's Texas.
I got married on the beach in Florida. I still say indoor.
Okay. Spring or fall wedding?
Fall.
Yes, I agree with that. First look or aisle reveal?
I like first look. I did an aisle reveal. I wish I would have had a first look.
Yeah, I agree. First look that's where I am. I try to always encourage it, but also not push it because it's your wedding. Do what you want.
Yeah.
But it helps everything. Biggest wedding pet peeve?
Biggest wedding pet peeve is, you're going to hate this, taking too long with photos during the cocktail hour.
Girl, I keep it moving. I had an officiant. He looked at me and said, "Are you done?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And I said, I keep it moving.
Yeah, taking too long, especially not sticking to the schedule.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to wait around for an hour already is long.
Yeah.
When it
I
goes
do my
longer,
best to keep it ahead of the schedule. We're keeping it moving. We knock out pictures ahead of time so that cocktail hour is not really an hour. Or if it is, you get to go join your people, whatever you want to do. But yeah,
I have a second pet peeve, but
go ahead.
Not having coordinator.
Yeah.
Not have your bridesmaid, maid of honor, mother of the bride, whoever is not in charge. Like, you need to have someone there who is paid to tell people where to go and when to go, and that way, if there's an unruly guest, they get to take care of it.
Yeah.
And you don't have
your brother's
the
job.
second bridesmaid running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to meet
Then
and greet
she's
vendors.
not where she needs to be.
Exactly. Or there's no one there to meet the vendors or figure stuff out. So that's my secondary pet peeve is.
I like it. It's good. Okay. Most underrated wedding trend.
Going around and taking photos with each table. I love the trend, and I don't see it enough, of like the rapid fire photo game or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
Or having, taking photos with a couple as you're getting ready to go eat. I feel like that is something that I wish I saw more of.
Yeah. I love that. I always try when I'm like, okay, what does the reception look like to you? Like, do you want pictures with everybody? Because if you do, there's a game we can play. He plays one song, we go to all the tables, we knock it out. I think that's a smart way to get everybody in there. Yeah.
I also saw another one. This, I guess your photographer could do the same thing. They did it at where the photo booth was set up. So the bride and groom were stationary.
Yeah.
And the photo booth was right next to the buffet. So it was literally, you're standing in line for the buffet, you take a photo with the bride and groom, and then you go get your food. And it was like...
You don't get to eat till you take a
right?
picture.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
then they have a picture of everybody that was there. And
Smart. I like it.
Yeah.
I see accidents happening, but it's fine.
I mean, depends on the layout, but...
Yeah. Well, the way you said it right next to it's like my brain is literally here, and then you get...
Well, no, it wasn't like bride
No,
and get your plate. I mean,
know.
it was a good 10, 15 yards away.
Where
but,
my head put it was right next to it, so I was like, I see an accident. Yeah, I like that. Okay, one wedding expense that's worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
Stop thinking.
Food.
Food, okay. Yeah.
Good food.
I'm going to say good food, not just
Good
food.
food.
Okay. One things couples should stop worrying about.
The take-home things. One of those favors.
Yeah.
What is the word?
You said take home, so then my head
Take-homes,
said
yeah,
take home.
favors.
And I was like, wait.
Favors. Just
Yeah,
it
they don't
makes
need
them.
them. It's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Okay, I like it. Do you have anything else you would like to say to the people?
Oh, I don't know. Book early. Like the whole timeline thing of when you should book your people. No, if you know your date, just start lining up your major
might as well.
vendors. Because if nothing else, it helps you stick to your budget.
Yeah.
Because the longer you wait, the more expensive things are going to be. So
Because prices change, economy changes.
Right.
Yeah. Or
And-
the person you want booked out. And
Exactly.
now you got to find somebody else.
And most places have deposits and payment plans and all that stuff anyway. So if it's a vendor, just knock them out in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Don't wait to the, I buy this date, you book this and that book. No, just book it all in the beginning.
Yeah, I agree.
And then pay for it later.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And if you haven't, make sure you're following her on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yes.
TikTok.
I am on TikTok, not as much as I should be, but I am on there, yes.
Okay. What's your handle so people can go find you?
Jonesin for Cupcakes.
Okay. Like the number 4.
Yes, Jonesin, Jonesin, the number 4, Cupcakes.
Yep. And it's really good. So, do that and then hire her. Okay. All right. Hope you guys had some good time today. Hope you learned a lot, and we'll see you next week.